Bap boobity bap bap. It's time for another lesson on Mr. Big. Now this time we would like you to write your own version of the letter that his friends sent to him. Now, as you remember in the story, people who'd heard him out in the street had heard him playing his fantastic jazz music and decided to reach out and invite him to come and play at the Blue Note, their jazz cafe. So what we'd like you to do is we'd like you to write a short letter to Mr. Big. Imagine that you are one of the people who've heard him playing somewhere in the neighbourhood. You think it's coming from this particular flat or apartment, and you've decided to write him a letter saying things about the music that you've heard, how you've loved the music, how you've really enjoyed listening to it, and perhaps you were so surprised to hear it coming from up there out the window, and that you are part of a band and you would like to invite him to come and play with you. Perhaps you might want to encourage him a little bit more. Maybe you think he's a little bit worried. So don't feel nervous, Mr. Big. Come on down to the Blue Note. We want to hear your jazz piano. So it doesn't need to be a very long letter, but it does need to have the normal features that a letter would include. So starting with a word like dear or to, and finishing with from, perhaps a mystery person who's going to be inviting them to the Blue Note Jazz Cafe. So you can include as much detail as, be as creative as you like in this letter, but remember to use the features from things that are in our everyday toolkit, like perhaps throw a few conjunctions in there, maybe a contraction, use an exclamation mark. Question marks would be great in this as well. Would you like to? How about? What's your name? That kind of thing. So we can put some question marks in there. That would be fantastic. And get it ready to send to Mr. Big himself. So letter to Mr. Big, inviting him to your jazz cafe. Off you go.